What if the reason you feel behind in life isn't because you're weak, but because you're trying to win a race that was never meant for you? What if the moment you stop comparing your life to someone else's, everything finally starts to make sense? Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they keep looking sideways instead of forward. And today's story is for anyone who has ever felt small while watching someone else shine. One of the deepest pains in life is comparison. We look at others and ask, why is she so successful and I'm not? Why does he have everything figured out while I'm still struggling? But we forget one simple truth. Her path and your path were never meant to be the same. A fish will never be happy trying to fly like a bird. No matter how powerful it is in water, it will always feel like a failure in the sky. And today, because of social media, this habit of comparing has become even more dangerous. We see highlights of other people's lives and start believing our own story is not good enough. Slowly, this thinking steals our peace, our confidence, and our joy. This is the story of a boy who lived that pain every single day. Near a quiet town, beside a large and beautiful forest, there was a small village. In that village lived a boy named Ethan. Ethan was kind, hardworking, and respectful. He helped his parents, studied sincerely, and tried his best in everything he did. But there was one habit that silently destroyed his happiness. He constantly compared himself to others. When his friend Liam scored the highest marks in class, Ethan felt small. He would sit alone and think, I study so hard, why am I not as smart as him? When he saw his neighbor Ryan living in a big house with expensive clothes, Ethan felt poor inside, even if he had everything he needed. When he saw someone run faster, speak better, or get praised more, his heart would sink. Why can't I be like them? What's wrong with me? These thoughts followed him everywhere. In class, at home, even when he was supposed to be happy. Slowly, Ethan lost focus. Things he once enjoyed no longer felt exciting. No matter what he achieved, it never felt enough. In his mind, there was only one voice repeating again and again, I'll never be as good as them. One day, a wise old man visited the village. Everyone called him Grandpa Joe. He had lived a long life, and his words carried calm and clarity. People said that one conversation with him could change how you see the world. Ethan gathered courage and went to him. With heavy eyes and a tired heart, he said, Grandpa, I work really hard, but when I see others doing better than me, I feel empty. It feels like no matter what I do, I'll never be enough. Grandpa Joe looked at him with kindness and said, Come to the oldest tree in the village tomorrow morning. You'll find your answer there. The next morning, Ethan went early. Grandpa Joe was already standing there, leaning on his stick. He said, Look around you carefully. Tell me what you see. Ethan looked around and said, I see many trees. Some are tall, some are short. Some have fruits, some don't. Some are thick and strong, others are thin. Grandpa Joe smiled and asked, What if this apple tree looked at the coconut tree and said, Why am I so short? Or if the coconut tree looked at the apple tree and said, I wish I had sweet fruits like you. How would that sound? Ethan smiled for the first time in days. That would sound very silly. Grandpa Joe nodded and said, And yet, that is exactly what humans do every day. Now tell me, how does this forest feel to you? Ethan looked again and said, It feels peaceful. Everything looks balanced, beautiful. Grandpa Joe said, Exactly, every tree has a purpose. The apple tree feeds people. The coconut tree stands tall through storms. They are different, but both are valuable. The forest is beautiful because of diversity, not sameness. Then Grandpa Joe walked with Ethan toward a small pond. Fish were swimming freely in the water, and above them, a bird flew across the sky. Grandpa Joe asked, If the fish said, I want to fly like that bird, would that make sense? Ethan replied, No, fish are made to swim, birds are made to fly. Grandpa Joe looked at Ethan and said softly, Then why do you want to live someone else's life? You were not created to be a copy. You were created to be you. Your strength may not look like theirs, but that doesn't make it smaller. It just makes it different. Those words hit Ethan deeply. For the first time, he realized that his pain didn't come from lack of ability, but from lack of acceptance. He had been measuring his worth using someone else's ruler. From that day, Ethan made a decision. He stopped comparing. When someone succeeded, he learned instead of feeling jealous. When he failed, He improved instead of feeling ashamed. He focused on discovering what he was good at, not what he was missing. Slowly, his confidence returned. His mind became lighter. Life felt meaningful again. Years later, through patience and consistent effort, Ethan built his own business. He didn't become successful overnight, but he became fulfilled. And that made all the difference. When people asked him, "How did you do it?" he would smile and say, "The day I stopped comparing myself to others, my life finally started moving forward." A fish that tries to fly will always feel like a failure, but when it swims, it can cross the entire ocean. Remember this: the sun and the moon don't shine at the same time, but both are necessary. Your journey is unique. Walk it with pride. That's where real success begins.